All right. I actually got a little transcript of how the movie starts, and I think I'm gonna read the first 4 lines of this. It says, I'm gonna read this, and then Joe, I want you to kind of react to it, and even just maybe give you a backstory on the movie and what it made you feel. But so it says, the more you begin to investigate what we think we understand, where we came from, what we think we're doing, the more you begin to see we've been lied to. We've been lied to by every institution. What makes you think for 1 minute that the religious institution is the only one that's never been touched?
Yeah, that part right there.
Yeah.
No, and and that's where and what year was that quote said, and who was that? What's his name again?
That was I think it's Gregory, but G. Massey. He was an Egyptologist. He was born in 1828, but he started kind of researching this kind of stuff around 1870.
Yeah. No, so what the first thing this made me do, not the first thing, it took me about 5 years after watching it to watch it again to make me do actual research on it. Because you could do research on every research because, like you said, like it has to be documented, right? It has to be documented. So basically, what Zeitgeist said was that it all started with Horus, the son of God, who's Osiris' son, who was born of a virgin, who was baptized, was crucified, and resurrected. They ended up doing the research on all that. And I think that, what was the other one? Dionysus. And there was the Indian god too, Krishna.
Yeah.
And they did the research on all those guys, which are myths. And a bunch of that stuff is false. Like, Horus never was born of a virgin. He was never baptized, he was never crucified. Osiris was like broken apart and put back together and then brought back to life, which is like a symbolism of resurrection. I'm not trying to counteract it, but just like, and it's so far off, and we're gonna come right back to a wrap, but the ongoing LeBron and MJ, it's just like, I need facts. And if I got facts contradicting facts, I got to question the facts contradicting the facts. So the other facts contradict the facts I'm contradicting. So same thing. So it's a back and forth. But overall, the whole concept is belief and what do you believe? So there's still two sides to believe here. And one thing I always tell my wife is that I am a religious man in a sense. And I also am an engineer and I believe 100% in science, and it contradicts each other. Like my beliefs contradict each other.
Feel that.
And when I watch this, it continues to just contradict each other. So that's what leads me to continue. And I haven't finished my research and I haven't, decided, but for me, I need to see more.
Yeah.
So it's not I don't believe it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the one main thing like that I would pick of this movie that I didn't like is they were very they're very overt with portraying things in a certain way that they obviously didn't believe versus what they did believe. You know what I mean? It didn't really kind of just give you the facts straight out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they try to use little funny cartoons for the stuff that they were against, as opposed to like making it more serious for the stuff that they were like believing. You know what I mean? So that bias part of it, it kind of like messes it up a little bit for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it pushes the agenda.
Exactly.
Hard.
When I see, that's exactly what it is. When I see that you're overtly pushing a narrative, it's like you're not really just trying to present facts. You're trying to skew facts to make sense to what you're saying. But
makes you question it.
Exactly. And you do your research, and it might not lead you to exactly what they're saying. But then when you do see, it doesn't say that, but dang, what it really does say is pretty crazy too. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to like the things about the stars and the constellations and the zodiac signs and everything like that.
And
crazy.
I've never been a big zodiac guy. Like I barely know anything about my sign and my moon and any of that rising stuff that has ever been talked about. Absolutely no idea. And I feel like that's just something that's not in my beliefs. It's not part of it. And that's why it's really complicated. It's hard to really hard to explain. But
so this is how I look at it, like specifically. I believe that like when you look at every religion across the world, every region, I feel like we're all just living a translation of the same thing. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to say theirs is the right one. Everybody wants to say they got the history behind them to back theirs up. But it's like,
still a copycat theory.
That's the human aspect of it. You know what I mean? Humans are always, it's the same reason there's humans that abuse the institution of religion. You know what I mean? But
and that's what I think, because of so much corruption in it and so much separation with it, just culturally and even with the law, you know, it's just like, it makes you question, like, maybe that's why everything's like this.
Yep.
Maybe that's why everything's like this. So maybe they are, like, maybe, you know, tell the truth.
I feel like some people honestly let religion get in the way of their relationship with God. You know what I mean? Like, it's even like, I was talking to my father-in-law earlier, and it's like, you know, Jesus spent 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, and he was talking to the devil in that time, you know what I'm saying, in that story.
Yeah.
And I kind of equate that to the fact that, like, you have to spend that time with yourself, as far as like going in your mind and see, hey, what are my weak spots? What am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, but a lot of people don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? That looking inward, that's going to get you more in tune with God. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, nobody knows what. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't even trip with whatever anybody believes, because it's like, yo, none of us got any proof. You know what I'm saying? So you got a faith, I got a faith. Like, I'm not mad at your faith. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That quote hit different, because maybe, what was it, like almost 3 years ago, I had to do a job where I couldn't take any electronics, any phones, anything. And it was 8 hours a day for a whole week with absolute silence. And that's my thoughts. And I thought a lot for that whole week. And that's all I had for 8 hours a day, just thinking. And I honestly, I felt a lot different after that week. I'm telling you right now, a lot different. I felt that's disconnected from a lot of things. And I kind of just started looking at things differently, for sure.
But that kind of goes into this, you know, and that's a perfect segue back into some of the concepts within the documentary. You know, towards the end, it kind of gets at that point of, you know what I'm saying, you know, those powers that be, making sure that we stay distracted so that we don't think about all of the things, the ideas and concepts that are presented in the documentary. You know what I'm saying? It's like making, like, so it's just it's an interesting documentary, bro. Like, it's a, you know, very thoughtful. Yeah. We can talk more about the other concepts and stuff, but, you know, it's a perfect segue, you know?
It is. And I like I said, I thoroughly enjoy listening. Like, I don't call myself a conspiracy theorist, but I watch everything conspiracy theory. It's hard to even, like, look it up on the internet. Have you, like, just tried to look up conspiracy theories? I think you either have to know exactly what you're looking up for.
I listen to like different podcasts and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, I listen to Tinfoil Hat. Is that one you're talking about?
No, I listen to one called Higher Side Chats.
Oh, you send me that link.
I'm gonna send it to you.
No, but so it was just like I was riding with Zeitgeist for a while, and then I looked it up and I read all this stuff about contradicting it, like factual stuff contradicting it. And I'm like, all right, now how much do I need to research in here?
Take it in, yeah.
So it's just the same way as they opened my mind up to something. 5 years later, someone else opened my mind or something. And I was like, all right, here we go. Now I got to start all over.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's also the concept of just being open-minded, though. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like, that's really
said what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can take stuff in, and it's up to everybody to do their own research on what they want to believe. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's telling you what to believe, but at least take the information in, you know what I'm saying? Process it and kind of, you know, do kind of like how you said, look inward, you know what I'm saying? And see what makes sense to you, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? That kind of leads into something that I even believe, like I almost think, I mean, not I almost think, but I think it's like arrogant for people to think that them as a human, as an imperfect being, can even define God. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of crazy to me. Like, there's no way that another human is going to tell me how I am going to feel about God or how I should have a relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? Like, that there's just no way.
Yeah, and that's kind of the difference of what when they were going through those gods, like for Horus and Dionysus and Christian, like they would make like the world the god and everything, like the government the god and everything was the god, but what the Bible would do would say God was in the heavens and like the earth would praise the God. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like they rewrote the rules of the myths. And so it's just like, just makes you look at it different. It's just like they got to the point where they can actually rewrite all the stories to lock in and make sense forever.
Yeah.
And then even just seeing like what was going on at different time periods on Earth in other places. And then you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, times don't add up. What's going on here in that time period versus what's going on here in that time period kind of don't add up. You know what I'm saying? So it it just opens your mind to it.
And that's the thing. It opens your mind to it. But there's a majority of people who just prefer like the reasonable explanation, you know?
Yeah.
The Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is the best. And I'll take that one. Right there.
Exactly. And that even goes into like what I was saying about looking inward. You know what I'm saying? Looking inward takes work, you know what I'm saying? And it's rough work, you know what I mean? But everybody don't want to just do that. But some people just, no, I think I'm straight, you know what I mean? And they just like push that to the side, you know what I mean? Like, do you really want to be your best self or do you want to just keep pushing that to the side?
And that's why I reached, and like I said, I took probably, and that's why I enjoyed these conversations with you guys, because despite the age difference, it's like the understanding is like, now I have the understanding to just like figure it out, like just figure it out. I know who I want to be. I know who I think I am. It all aligns. And you know, I just do my best to just live that every day, and whatever that aligns with, I'll be about it. But I right now I haven't done the research of what my lifestyle aligns with.
Yeah, I feel that.
Facts.
I feel that.
Yeah,
man. I'll be honestly just feeling like if you tap into that little voice in your head and really like listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's God, and you can like kind of refine that and get that to the point where like you're in tune the way you're supposed to be in tune. You know what I mean?
No, and I'll be straight up. Like, even the relationship with my wife, and she attributes it all to the universe. You know, just that divine intervention is on its own. You know, everything just happens how it should be, and that's why I'm learning too, going with the flow, and like everything just is how it should be. You know what I mean? It's just happening on its own. That's it. That's the universe, like, controlling everything. I'm a big, I do have that kind of view too.
Nice.
How do you feel about it, Quincy?
I think we kind of tapped in, not in that language, but we tapped into something like this. I think one of the first couple episodes, kind of, you know, I'm in the same lane as far as like, you know, everything that's supposed to happen is going to happen type deal. Like, there's nothing I can do to change that outcome. I think I said those exact words. Like, there's nothing that I can do to kind of change the outcome of what's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when you're, you know, it's like if you have something like a tribulation that you're supposed to run into, and you know, like, yo, bro, I gotta get away from this issue, because if I don't get away, I'm gonna have this problem, and you do everything to get away from that issue, but you still end up having the problem. It's like kind of like that, you know what I'm saying? You have to face it. You have to face it, exactly, because facing it head on is how you grow, you know?
Yeah, I do also feel like not listening to that little voice, kind of like what I was saying, that's a big issue with people as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you know deep down you're not supposed to be doing something that you're doing, and then it backfires. I feel like too many people try to attribute that to like outside interferences. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's like I always look at it this way: like you do A might not lead to B, but A leads to B, C, D, and then when it gets to maybe N is the snowball that is the real effect of what you did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like basically I'm saying, like, maybe you do something and you don't feel the effects right away, but if you put off what you was really supposed to do, it's gonna come back somehow. You know what I mean? And then when it comes back, you can't like attribute that to bad luck or whatever, or fate. You know what I mean? Like, because it's fate in the sense that you got to face it, but if you try to push it off to face it later, it's going to be way worse.
I agree. And we're coming off from, you know, that Zeitgeist intro about religion and the universe and what to believe in, how it all started. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm a big science freak, big Jurassic Park freak, you know, and if you think about it, that's just natural human evolvement right there. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's exactly like the Big Bang might have just happened. And it just might have all been molecules and freaking elements and all this shit just coming together, and apes evolving into men. And that's how it happened. So it's just like, I just question myself all the time. Yeah. Oh, maybe one day I'll figure it out. We'll see.
I feel that.
Facts. But it's just kind of crazy that sometimes people don't even go through life like listening, like even thinking about those other concepts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just opening their mind to like the fact that everybody's human, and things that happen in other places, it's connected to what happens here too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people try to act like what's going on the other side of the world like isn't a part of their reality, but it is, and it affects your reality, even if you want to pretend like it's not there, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're feeling it now. Look at these guys. We're feeling it now.
Facts.
So I do feel, I will say this, and maybe if you guys want to roll into the 9/11 section after this.
Yeah.
I do feel that there is a percentage of me that believes this all could be true, and that churches and the institutions leverage the truth and the information in order to gain power and control and dominance and everything. And so, you know what I'm saying? As an open-minded person, I do think that that's one. It might be a little smaller than the rest of them, but there's part of me that might believe that too.
I'm gonna be real. I don't know if it was said in this documentary or if this is something that I learned elsewhere. I can't recall right now. But the fact that churches don't pay taxes is very interesting to me, you know, because everybody pays taxes. So what does the church bring to society that's worth more than taxes?
You remember why Kanye went gospel and did all the Sunday services? Mm-hmm. Because he didn't have to pay any taxes. Mm-hmm. 100%.
Come on, man.
He did $1 billion after that, huh?
Yeah, real quick. Mm-hmm. But
it's a business, and that unfortunately makes me question everything about it.
It almost goes to the point where, remember my dog said, "I'm a god."
I told you, I thought it was.
I told you. Yo, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, dog. Like, I don't know, man. It definitely opens your mind and makes you look deeper into just everything around you, man, because, you know, let's be real, man. I know I couldn't control 7 billion people on my own. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't, you know, it definitely takes a lot of little things in place to get to that point, you know?
Yeah, one thing the documentary says too, that like it's something that I've always believed as well, is like the fact that like money is just kind of something that we all agree is worth something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not really worth anything. You know what I mean?
You know what? I don't want to get into this right now. We'll save for after. Remind me of the Venus Project.
Got you.
Yo, so going into the 9/11 part of it, Joe, because I feel like you would be the most qualified out of all of us to give your opinion on this. But the whole demolitions angle and, you know, the stuff that they talk about.
Yeah, these buildings were made to sustain airplanes crashing into them. 100% steel. And the only way you can make those buildings tumble is you cut them diagonally, and they find the diagonal beams cut. And then you got number 7 that just just demolished on its own. I'll tell you right now, those may be bad infrastructure. Back in the day, maybe there was these architects that just didn't give a shit. They had to get the building done by deadline. Quality inspectors maybe said, fuck it, let it ride, we'll sign off, we got to meet the deadline. So it could have been bad infrastructure. But the Pentagon, that was the one for me. No surveillance of the plane hitting it. No remains of the plane in the building. Yeah, absolutely not.
Makes no sense.
That is a fact. That's not speculation. That's not myth. That's not rumor. That's not a conspiracy. There's not one picture you can find of the plane crashing into the Pentagon and a picture of any part of the plane in it. There's not. And that opens me up to question everything. If they didn't hit me with that, I would have not questioned a thing. I would have said, nah, y'all the bullshit.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know if you remember the show Manifest and how popular it got out of nowhere. Because it came out a little while ago, but it got popular maybe about a year ago.
Yeah, when it like dropped on Netflix.
Yeah. So the concept of that show is really dope if you think about it, because like you just made the point that like there was no evidence of, a plane hitting the Pentagon, right? And the concept of the show is that, a plane disappears for 5 years and then all of a sudden comes back, and that whole concept in itself is pretty crazy. But then when you think about the fact that like, there's all this, superstition and conspiracy theories around 9/11, and where are the people that were on those planes? You know what I mean? Like y'all gave them these, memorials in New York, you know what I'm saying? But where are the people, It's crazy, man.
I visited the Pentagon post 9/11. This is maybe 2016, 2017. And I went to the memorial section, and I'm just looking, it's like, there's no way a plane hits this building and you don't see any part of the plane. I just can't believe that. Someone prove it. Someone crash a plane into a building that's similar and record a video of it disappearing before you could take a picture of it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because like even the idea that like, there's people that honestly like generally believe that what they hear is true just because they take it in good faith. But you do like a little bit of digging on a lot of the stuff you're told and you're like, that's not true. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a crazy, even like little juggling act of like.
But you know what they were good at? They had like the 2 guys who were like the inside jobbists. I don't even know if that's a word, but the inside job was that's post 9/11 telling all the stories. And then they grouped those like testimonies up with like the live witness people, like as the first plane hit the tower, and then everybody's saying it's a bomb and all this crazy stuff. But think about it, in 2001, you're not opening your phone and going to Twitter or IG to see what's going on around you. You're going off by what everybody's saying. And there could just be some crazy people in New York City saying some crazy shit, and then everybody just starts saying it.
Yeah,
And they
somebody
have a
might come
lot
around
of-
the corner saying, "A bomb just went off," and that's it. That's all you know.
Yeah, exactly. And so I take that into account big time. Like, technology wasn't around for these people to know exactly what was going on.
Right.
They just knew some shit was going down.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, man, and it's like, I feel like even the part of it that kind of gets lost in there sometimes, like as it gets farther and farther away, is just how many people lost their lives. You know what I mean? Because it's like, at the end of the day, like whatever you think about it, either way it happened, and those people pass. You know what I'm saying? Like people are still affected to this day by that situation. So, you know,
Bro, the stories they tell about the people who were like trying to, rescue people, who made the calls, they played the calls. Have you watched any of those 9/11 movies?
I think Fahrenheit 9/11, 9/11. I actually got that on DVD, but I watched that one.
What was the one with Nicolas Cage? Like World Trade Center. It was called World Trade Center.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was a good one.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and that's why I watched all those movies, because that's where you got a good story, the people in it, and everything that actually went down with the people, instead of just focused on how the towers went down.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, all that Osama bin Laden stuff, that ain't a lie. All the bin Laden family stuff, that ain't a lie.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's just it's a reality of the world we live in, and I've touched on it before in the past, but sometimes people think this is like kind of like a gloomy outlook or something, but it's like, nah, it's just seeing things for what they are, so that you know how to navigate correctly. You know what I mean? If you believe in something just for the sake of believing it, it doesn't make it true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, the result was a result, but we're not talking about the result. We're talking about the cause of it, respectfully. Respectfully. Plenty of time has passed. Plenty of time has passed. Now we can dissect it and actually talk about what was the actual cause of all that.
Right.
Who really did that? And it could have straight up been Osama bin Laden, but it sounds pretty crazy the way the Zeitgeist put it. Yeah. This guy in the cave really just did all that. Like, for real, to us. So it's just like, to our military, to our Department of Defense.
Right.
All right. Just kind of crazy. And so it makes you question it all. It makes you just kind of want to do some research.
Another point that it, makes, and this is why, like, again, I got my own research to do. Let's just say that, you know what I'm saying? But, another point that it made when it kind of went towards the financial route and talking about, banks and how, the laws that were put into place that, like, there was a lot of concepts that I'm really going to look into, like the fact that a couple of those IRS agents, you know what I'm saying, they're basically saying like, I haven't paid taxes since 1999, since I figured out exactly what happened with taxes and how there's no laws in place that really enforces taxes. It was just something that was put there. There's no government or what did they say, amendments or anything that put taxes there. So like concepts like that, bro, you know what I'm saying? And then, we're talking about... I
brought up the straw man theory. I don't know if you ever got a chance to see that.
You did bring that up. No, I got to tap in. I folded on that one. You brought that up.
And it relates to that. And I'm not too familiar with the finance one portion of the movie. I definitely want to go back to that portion.
So aside from Zeitgeist, I've actually done like some random research into like the banking families, even like the history of the Trump family, those big families that you hear of, the Rothschilds, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the 6 most powerful families in the world.
And it's just, to me, it even translates to something simple as, you're talking about old money, you're talking about long money, you're talking about people that they got the corner on the market, bro, and they all mess with each other. Why would they?
And that's why I believe in the fucking Illuminati too. Come on,
yeah.
Hey, why do I not believe it?
But that's
for beliefs.
That's the point that I was getting to before, and you just reminded me, Lester, was that when it comes to the money side of it, war is the most profitable thing. It makes money for so many people. You know what I mean? So it's like, if there's nothing going on for me to have a war, then and I'm a person that wants to make money, I'm gonna make something happen to make war. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's where all these conspiracy theories come in, where it's like just it seems that some I's weren't dotted and some T's weren't crossed. You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff just don't make sense. You know, it's a weird, it's a crazy thing, bro. It's a crazy thing.
The thing with me too is like something that I feel like something that people overlook is there's just crazy people to begin with. Imagine somebody crazy, but at the same time, they got a couple billion. You know what I'm saying? Like when you consider like the different types of personalities there just are in the world, and you imagine those personalities with X amount of money and how they would be turned up to 11. You know what I mean? Like you talking about people with the means to do some crazy things. And for you to think nobody's ever tried to do nothing crazy with that type of money that's going around, like, I think that's like a naive way to think.
Mm-hmm. Nah, facts.
Because even if you just think about the way that these people are, like they're just regular people, you know what I'm saying? Just the same way that when you're walking around every day, you come across certain types of people. That's how those circles are, but they just have a crazy amount of money, basically an unlimited budget to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. But I do think one point they made that still is like all this money is really equates to gold in the bank and some gold pounds and some vaults and shit.
Yeah, it's definitely something.
Concept.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's just regulating us. And like I said, like we just all agree that the money works. And I think it's something that we even realize that without it, things might get a little crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And all it is power. Like that's what I was going to mention earlier. You know, if you think in the environment and you know, we pull so much from the environment to maintain our environment. So the Venus Project is like if all these countries just stop worrying about like power and control and wealth and property, like, and put all the world's resources together scientifically for the earth to like self-sustain itself for the rest of like existence. But these power institutions have come that will never ever let that happen. So rather just the world goes to shit instead of finding a solution for keeping the world going, the earth going longer than it's planned to go.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why, that's why inflation will never stop though. You know what I'm saying? And it's a weird thing to even think about. You know what I'm saying? When people keep saying like, oh man, I can't wait till gas prices go down. When have you ever seen gas prices go down? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I remember them being $1.29 when I was a jit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's been nothing but up ever since, bro. It's like the gas isn't the issue. The dollar is losing its value. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it, bro. The dollar is losing its value, and you know the way our financial system is built, bro. It's built to keep us in debt. And that's why, you know, that's something that was tapped into in the documentary. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you do a little bit more research, it gets you thinking, bro. It just like, you know, it gets you really open-minded to that concept that like, bro, it's not the gas prices, bro. We just went through a crazy pandemic. There was a lot of money given out. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things happening that the dollar lost a lot of value in the last couple of years.
I hear stories all the time, people who got money on accident from the government during the pandemic and then they have to pay it back. I'm like, bro, I feel you, because if that was me, I wouldn't either. It's
right.
Like, damn, imagine how much money went out.
Exactly, bro.
That wasn't meant to go out.
Dog, like, but you got to think about it too. You know, the pandemic hit everybody, bro. The pandemic hit every country.
I ain't on nobody for sure.
No, for sure. But the thing is that different countries handled it differently. There were some countries that was just like, yo, you got, like, y'all deal with it. America, was like, we got you. We don't know how we got you, but we gonna make something shake. And what happened? Now we paying for it, bro. Come on, man. Let's be real.
Sheesh. That's real talk.
Yeah, man.
Tell you, man, it's just people care too much about wealth, property, and power. But you know what? You know what's good? It was gonna make you last longer in this inflation. Growing your own crops, Lester.
Yep.
Oh yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
There's always and I think that goes to what y'all are saying. Like, I think people need to start realizing that more doesn't have value. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the same idea with how inflation goes. Like, it's all artificial. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if you raising the prices to stuff, but then everything else raises with it, it's all artificial. You know what I mean? You could just be charging, you know, what you was charging 10 years ago, and everybody make the same amount they was making 10 years ago, and it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's all just like I said, it's all something that we're just agreeing that's going on. It's a crazy system. You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of overwhelming. Like, as a person, even like just realizing how deep all this stuff goes, and you're just one person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what they count on. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's, you know, you hear it a lot. Like, anytime anybody's trying to get their point across about anything, they're always talking about, oh, we got to get on the same page. That's the only way they're going to listen to us. Like, anytime anybody's trying to mobilize any cause, they're all trying to get on the same page. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's just like certain things that people will never get on the same page about. Ever. And I feel like that's something that like some people kind of fail to understand, that like there is no answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could try to be the best that you can, and you could try to, you know, follow a system that's the best that you think it is. But at the end of the day, that other stuff is in there too.
Yes, sir.
No matter what, it's all gonna happen. You know what I mean? And that's what people, I feel like, don't want to accept, and they want to like create some kind of lie in their head to explain it. And it's like, there's no explanation
to fit in.
Yep.
I think it's really looking back, like I said. Look inside, looking who you are, who you think you are, knowing who you are, and following that until you feel you reach there. And it might take a while. I'm still heading there, still figuring it out.
I think at the end of the day, it's just, you know what I'm saying, growth comes from going in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? You can't grow from making the same mistakes, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that's really what it's all about. It's like, I don't think nobody really has it truthfully 100% figured out.
No, that's for sure.
At the same time, it's like at least trying to go in the right direction with it.
Touche, my dude.
Yeah, man. It's just and I always say, man, like, all this stuff, it's just fun to talk about. It's fun to push your mind to those limits. It's fun to think about these things and try to find holes in it yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like kind of like what I said. It's like none of us really know anything. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not here to try to pop nobody's bubble. I'm not here to try to convince somebody or something that they don't believe or whatever. You know what I mean? I just think that there's value in having an open mind to understand that other people do believe other things.
Okay.
Till I'm 100% convinced I believe in everything.
Exactly.
That's it. Everybody needs to go check out Zeitgeist on YouTube. It was a 2007 movie. It's free. And the
official version is actually free on YouTube. Like, you don't even have to pay or nothing. Like, you could just pull it up and it's like the official version. It looks nice. It's not like a bootleg or nothing.
Yeah. Hit the comments, see what your take on it was, how you viewed it.
Yeah.
And look at it as information. That, you know, Joe made a real good point earlier. Like, you listen to one side of it and then you do your research on your own time and you see, okay, this is true, or oh nah, this one they try to stretch it to get there. You know what I mean? Like, but whatever it is, you take the information and you compare it to other information, because basically comparing information is the only way you're really going to find out the truth about anything. Because you can hypothesize anything, but until you can prove it against something else or against like a counteracting situation, it's really nothing. You know what I mean? It's just an idea that you have.
It's all about doing research. Some people don't want. Some people just settle for a belief, and that's what they do. And you know, all praise to them. But someone like me, I gotta continuously research it and just not research it, but just continuously evaluate it until I'm 100% convinced I know who I am.
It's a journey, bro. It's not something that can be defined by a man, and there's no blueprint for it. You know what I mean? We all different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, sure as hell ain't perfect.
Yeah, we don't even learn or take information in the same way. You know what I mean? So like to think that there's like a blueprint, you know, end all be all way that we all should be, like it's just crazy.
That's for sure.
Once you accept, like, it's the concept that we always talk about on the podcast. Like, once you accept that everybody's different and everybody has reasons to do what they do, life's just going to be a lot easier. Control what you can to the best of your ability, to the deepest level that you can, and try to leave little things to chance. And the things you leave to chance, you got to leave them to that. You just got to leave them to that. Exactly. But yeah, man, it's definitely the same kind of concepts that I want to keep tapping into in like upcoming episodes and stuff. I definitely want to hear what people think about what we're talking about and stuff, because I don't know about y'all, but I'll get people that hit me up like talking about certain things that we've talked about, and they'll throw in like their little 2 cents and stuff, and it's dope to hear it, you know what I mean? So anybody that got any opinions, that's what we're here to talk about, because Grounded, the whole theme is just being in tune and in touch, you know what I mean? So like
Facts.
The only way to be in tune is to listen to what all the concepts are out there from everybody, because if you, like I said, if you're not listening, if you're not learning, you know, you're stagnant and you're not in that journey.
Thanks.
Shout out to my boy Joe Mena, #6letters. He was saying that I better not come out here and call the Drake album a classic. I did not do it. So if you're listening, I didn't do it.
Hey, look, it may not be a classic yet, but what I will say is give it a month and a half, 2 months, man. Y'all gonna see how these women looking in, this summer, bro. You already know what's gonna be at the pool parties in the club.
Man, I'm glad that y'all said that. I'm glad that y'all said that, because it just reminded me. This album, I really didn't like the take of, the people that didn't enjoy it are broke, or like they don't.
Yeah, I posted it and I deleted it because I was like, nah, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. It's like you could, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You know what I mean? But it doesn't have to do with like where you've been or whatever. Obviously, music to a certain degree is like certain vibes make sense in certain settings, and like some people that don't go to those settings, sometimes they don't like that type of music. But you don't gotta be in a tropical island to enjoy this album. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I forgot which one. It wasn't something like. It was something like broke people don't listen to it, and I was like, nah, that's stupid.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's mad broke people probably love this shit.
Yeah.
And not like I'm not rich, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like you can't just classify people based on their music taste.
Music takes you to a place in your mind. It's a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
It's ignorant.
That's not limited to anybody. Anybody can get lost in music. Like to say that you gotta be a certain type of level person to get lost in a song.
It's trash. Because on top of that, bro, you go to any concert, bro, you're gonna see so many random style people, and y'all all there for the same artist, bro. At the end of the day, bro, music is music.
You remember that, right, Quincy? We was rolling loud in a corner, smoking a joint, chilling, and this old lady just pulled up next to us. And she's like, yeah, I just came out here by myself because I like the music. And she just stood next to us for a little while, and she was vibing. We was just smoking a joint, listening to, I think it was Gunna at that time who was performing.
Yep, it was Gunna, yep.
We were watching Gunna, and then she was just vibing. She's like,
old white lady, bro.
Yeah, facts, bro.
Man, it's like at the end of the day, bro, it's like, bro, music is music, man. It's like,
that's what connects people.
Yeah, it connects people. But and it's like to get to that point, bro, it's like you're just people just looking for a reaction now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just chill, bro. Like, enjoy the music. If you don't enjoy it, find your own, bro. Like,
Facts.
come on, man.
Facts. I definitely feel like music is something that's like lost so much value, like with the oversaturation of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That like it's hard to like retrain people to appreciate it when like so much terrible stuff gets through. You know what I mean? Like since it's been so commercialized, like I feel like it's blatant that music has just been destroyed. You know what I mean? Like just like from the glory that it used to have. You know what I mean? Like it definitely doesn't have that prestige. People don't be checking for new music. Even like what you was talking about, Joe, like, you know, they're not making music like they used to. You know what I'm saying? Because like you can't even pay all the people that was involved before now to make a song. You know what I mean? Like before, you talking about 20 people was involved in these songs, you know, instrumentalists, vocalists, writers, producers, engineers, you know, tracking engineers. Like now it's 1 or 2 people making a song and that's their resources. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can't afford to pay anybody else to be involved, you know?
Yeah. Drink Champs had the 20-year anniversary of the War Report. And they had like so many people there who were involved in making it. And that was his whole point. He's like, it wasn't Pona Noriega making the War Report. It was all these people who had a part of making that album. Mm-hmm. And like that anymore. Nobody, like, unless like Ye or Push or Drake or like Nas, no one gets that kind of surroundings and those kind of resources as access to Rick Rubin. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, the artists that don't get that is a big difference in their music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's even like the same thing like with Illmatic, you know what I'm saying? You got 5 of the best producers in the rap game at the time just collaborating and vibing and making these beats for Nas. Like, dog, of course it's gonna be a classic. You know what I mean? That's like something that's like, it's not done anymore. You know, it wasn't even done at the time. You know what I mean? Like that, when they did that, it was something that was unheard of. But it's also, you know, me being an artist, I know that it's hard to get in tune with people like that with your music. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to find those right people that's in the same wavelength with you creatively. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like, you know, that's like lightning in a bottle when you can get a group like that together to create a classic, to be in the same mind frame and the same vibe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Anytime you can get a big group of people to do something and be in the same state of mind, like I feel like that's what's good about like good sports teams too. You know what I mean? Like the teams that I like to watch is like when I could tell that they're all about the team. Like every player is about the team. They're making the moves for the team. Like that's the best way to win. You know what I mean? And it's been proven time and time again, but people still don't buy into it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of just like the flaw, the human flaw. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that we have. Like we know what we're supposed to do. We have that, you know, you have the God in you telling you what you're supposed to do. You just don't do it for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to get in a sports tip, but you hear about a good chance Kyrie might go to the Lakers and play with Bron again?
Oh, bro, I'm not going to lie. As soon as he said, if Bron had his way, I'll be on the Lakers right now. He said that like a couple of weeks ago, I think, or maybe like during the finals or something, in some interview that he did.
I Am Athlete.
And I was like, the I Am Athlete. Yeah, I was like, oh man, here we go. And there it goes. Like a week or two later, the rumor comes out. Trade packages for Kyrie to the Lakers.
Bruh. I'm going to some Summer League games. Shout out to my boy, Jared Lawrence. He's coming out to Vegas at Beyond the Glory. He has a podcast. I was actually on his podcast long ago, bro. The first podcast I ever been on years ago. But he's coming out here. We're going to check out I'm trying to check out the Lakers and Knicks, and he's a Blazers fan. We're going to give some Blazers Summer League games next couple of weeks when I get back from DC.
That's dope, man. This year, I'm actually going to go to a lot of the Magic games because my kids are into ball now. So, like, I'm going to take my son. Yeah, I'm going to take my son so he can see Steph Curry. I want him to see LeBron. I want him to see Kawhi. I want him to see Jason Tatum because he likes Jason Tatum. Oof. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all those, you know, those dope players, I always like seeing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a few that I haven't seen yet that I'm gonna
That's why
cross
I
off
hope
that list.
Vegas gets the best basketball team, bro. I want to see Luka play in person. I want to see Steph play in person. Pretty much Luka and Steph are the last two I want to see really bad.
Yeah.
Everybody else for sure, but them two like for real.
Yeah, Steph is like the one I haven't seen.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I haven't seen Steph, but I also, bro, I want to see Giannis, bro. I feel like we haven't seen a player like him in a decade, over a decade.
Man, yeah,
I gotta see him play, bro.
I feel like Giannis and Kawhi are like the underrated goats of the NBA right now, because they're just so like they're like the most impactfully balanced players in the league, like by a mile, and it's not even close. Like, and they're so consistent. They never fold in any game. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now the NBA has some good talent, man. Devin Booker. I'm a Melo Ball fan for sure.
Yeah, he's a nice player, man. I hope he makes that leap.
Me too, bro. Me too.
Ja Morant.
He came. Oh yeah, Ja was nice too.
Yo, them Grizzlies Warriors game next year.
Ooh, was it
games in the
Christmas?
slab?
Yeah,
they're hoping for it. We'll see when the schedule comes out.
What's up with your boy Draymond?
Draymond Greasy. He's
you really listen to his podcast,
dog.
Lesson?
Nah.
Oh, I thought you did for real, because you had that one comment. All right.
Nah, I've tried to listen to a few of those NBA guy podcasts, but like, they don't really catch my attention. You know
I like JJ Redick's.
I haven't checked out JJ's. I gotta check his out and see.
He's dope.
Surprisingly,
he had a great mind for basketball.
Yeah, like, the one I like listening to talk about basketball is Bill Simmons.
Yeah, Bill Simmons. Yeah. The one with Matt Barnes. What's that one called? Yeah, All the Smoke. That's probably the one I watched. I started with like the Fat Joe episode and then went backwards.
I gotta check in. I haven't. It's been a while since I even like peeped anything from theirs. But when I did see it, I never really tapped in. But I've seen a few videos and a few clips that was like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. If not, I'm watching the Grounded podcast.
You already know.
Facts. Hey man, you about to get on this duty, dog.
I'm gonna grab some foodie and then I'm gonna get on this duty.
That sounds like a planjamin. I'm gonna do the same thing. My wife made this lasagna. It was fire, dog. She be killing that lasagna. It's crazy.
Shoot, right before we got on, so I'm gonna be warming up. You're firm.
Yo, what's the name of the map? I don't even know the name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Damn, Funders?
Yeah, something like that.
Funders?
I don't know, I just made that up.
I would have went into it mad confident, like, yo, y'all ready for this Funders, dog?
Fiestas. Founders Island.
Founders Island, okay. Yeah,
see, I was close.
Founders Island, man. We gonna tap into a little bit of more of this topic on the next episode too.
So there's a Zeitgeist addendum. It's another 2 hours long. It's actually 3 parts.
It's
actually 3 parts.
Oh, I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, Zeitgeist addendum is the second part, and I forgot what the third. There's 3 parts, and they're probably 2 hours long each.
Bet. So we'll let it simmer a little bit. We'll talk about other random stuff in between, and then we'll definitely come back to it. And then we can come back to the Drake at that time too.
Yeah, sounds good.
You hit him with the Zeitgeist and Drake part 2.
2 blunt Zeitgeist. Mommy is quite nice.
Hi.
That's Styles P. He said that. It was when he said that, and I was like, let me go back to this. For real.
That boy a beast, man.